I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
This is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is another Patreon request for Bra Ed Stipe, a man who was very nice enough to send a tier to my Patreon. For those who's ever interested in supporting me on Patreon, the links are down below, as well as links if anyone wants to send me PayPal requests. I thank you guys who have done it so far. I really appreciate it. But the film you wanted me to talk about today is John Q. Now, John Q is a film I had heard of for a while, but just never got around to watching it. I like Denzel Washington. I don't love every film he's been in, but I love Virtuosity. That's actually my personal favorite. I know that's not the normal choice, but I love Virtuosity. The stuff he did with Tony Scott, Take Your Pelham 1, 2, 3, Man on Fire, Deja Vu. The Pelican Brief I enjoyed. He was good in Glory. Many other films. And John Q, I gotta say, watching it, I really enjoyed it. The story made you very sympathetic for the lead character. It was a story that you could really feel yourself being in the place of the main character, thinking on what you would do in this situation, how you would react. It's a very emotional story. Some would say emotionally manipulative, but I thought, for me, it worked out very well. Maybe for others, again, they would feel they got manipulated in it. But again, to me, I really enjoyed the journey that director Nick Cassavetes took us on. John Q is a blue-collar guy. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. He really gets along well with this kid who wants to be a bodybuilder, and I think they have good rapport, father-son rapport. One day during a baseball game, the kid collapses. He gets the kid to the hospital, and they say that he needs a new heart. The heart's been enlarged. He needs a new heart. But it's going to take a lot of money. And the insurance doesn't cover it because he's been cut down to part-time in his job, and he's trying to raise money, and that doesn't work out. So a desperate measures, one thing leads to another. He takes the hospital hostage in order to get his son on the list to get a heart transplant. And on the one hand, it's a take on the medical system of today that maybe some would say it's heavy-handed, but to me, I both agreed and understood and kind of agreed with the sentiments of the filmmakers. Not everyone will. Some will feel it's heavy-handed, but to me, I rather enjoy the blunt take on it. And like I said, you really feel for Denzel's character. It's easily one of his best performances. It's, like I said, very emotional flick where you really feel Denzel's palpable anger and frustration, and then him just, even during the whole hostage thing, he's still a good guy. He's not knowing what to do. He's, as he says, waiting for a miracle. Okay, like that's literally what he says. I'm waiting for a miracle. Okay. And like I said, with the story, the setup, you yourself are put into that place of what would you do if your son or your daughter or your wife or your husband or your mom or your dad or someone else was in the situation. What would you do? is something that I think the viewer can easily put themselves in the place of Denzel's character. And to be quite honest, I think a lot of people would try to do the same thing Denzel did. If I'm going to be honest, if we're going to be honest with each other, I'm not saying everyone would. I'm saying a lot of people would, though. And I think maybe that, because I think other people do enjoy this film, that's what they relate to. It's a relatable story in a weird way. And it's hampered by a good cast. Denzel leads it, but you also have James Woods as the doctor, and Heche, who you just hate, as the boss of the hospital. Robert Duvall, great actor, who is the hostage negotiator, Ray Liotta. Of course, he's a guy who's like, come on, we gotta get a sniper in there. And Greg, you just say that it kind of plays off certain cliches. Of course, if there's a hostage situation, you always have a guy who needs to get a sniper in there. There's always a scene where a sniper tries to shoot at the lead, and the sniper's going to get caught or hurt or whatever. And of course, the hospital boss has to be an asshole. In this case, it's Heche. So you just say it plays off cliches. That's not the most original. But it didn't bother me in this. Maybe because the actors played their roles well. Maybe because it went at a good enough pace I was never bored. Maybe because I really felt its heart was in the right place and the emotions were true. While you may think that the story, the writing of the story is played out, characterized in a cliche fashion, the emotion is there. And the emotion really carries the picture. The music I thought was very well done. I want to get the guy's name. I don't know what else he's done. Aaron Zigman. I believe this is the first film score the guy did. And this movie came out in 2002. And Nick Cassavetes, this is the guy who directed She's So Lovely, The Notebook, Alpha Dog, My Sister's Keeper, The Other Woman. Granted, I'm not really a fan of those movies, but I'm a fan of this one. And you say maybe this movie's trying to be a little bit like Dog Day Afternoon. Maybe a little bit like, what was that movie? Money Monster, that I didn't enjoy, with George Clooney and Julia Roberts. I did enjoy Money Monster. But yeah, Denzel gives a very committed performance, real tears. I'm a big fan of James Woods. It's great to see him in this. Eddie Griffin, he doesn't overdo any shtick. He's there, as a fun side character. But again, he doesn't overdo it. He has a hurt hand finger, but then he's very much pro Denzel's character. Eddie Griffin, sometimes he could be a bit over with his shtick. He doesn't do that here. I think here Eddie Griffin's used effectively. I believe the guard is Ethan Suplee. He's a guy I remember from the Kevin Smith film Mallrats as a guy who kept looking at the painting, the picture, trying to see the images within. And then he really trimmed himself down. He was on the TV show My Name is Earl, among others. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other actors. The one I did not like was Kimberly, Elise. I think she was in Set It Off, which I reviewed recently. She played Denzel's wife. I did not like her character. I'm sorry. I found her just bitchy, unlikable. When she's calling Denzel about the take our son out, and he's like, do something. I'm like, bitch, you do something. How about you get off your fat ass and bitch, and do something. Why does he have to do something? Why don't you fucking do something? You're just standing with the thorn up your ass and a phone in your face. How about you do something, bitch? Like near the beginning of the film, she came off as bitchy to Denzel when he's trying to do his best. And then that scene, she came off bitchy. I did not like her. I don't think it's the actress's fault. I've seen her do better in other movies. I think it's the way she was directed, the script wrote her. I did not like her character, and I spit all over the damn computer, but that's like one of the few things I did not like about the film. But other than that, I like the little montage of him working with his son, and then they're trying to raise money. The music used in that I thought was very effective. Even when the hostages, it doesn't get overbearing where people are just hammering over and over and over again the same tired points. And they do touch on a little bit of the politics of the hospital, the medical, like HMOs. They pay their doctors not to test, so that later on, maybe the bid doctors get their fat paychecks during the Christmas season, the bonus. Eddie Griffin has a fun line. Yeah, if you don't have any money, you get a Band-Aid, a foot in your ass, and out the door. Actually, I don't think Eddie Griffin said that. I forget who said that. No, I think it's the other guy. The other guy who's talking about the HMOs. He's the one. Yeah, not Eddie Griffin. Eddie Griffin has another one where he's like, the oath. It's like, yeah, it's more like the hypocritical oath. And he said something else. I forget the exact dialogue. But no, it was the other guy who actually worked at the hospital. He's the one who said, yeah, if you don't have any money, you get a Band-Aid, a foot in the ass, and out the door. I forget that actor's name, but he, for a small supporting role, he did a good job. Is that an action film? Going to that? Knowing it's more of a drama. It's not The Negotiator, which funny enough I reviewed recently, which was another hostage film. But that one definitely more of an action thrill. That's another one I enjoyed. So sometimes these hostage movies can be interesting. I mentioned Money Monster, this one, The Negotiator. Is there one that I did not like? I'm sure there are. I'm just trying to think of it at the moment. But anyway, getting back to this. What really propels the film is Denzel's performance, where he's trying desperately to get, even to the point of considering killing himself, because, hey, you do take my heart, because we have the same blood type, blah, 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 blah. And before the scene where he comes out, he's like, I am not going to bury my son. My son's going to bury me. And you really get no fake sleepwalking performance shit. Quite the opposite. Just a very... Oh, Inside Man. That was another one I enjoyed. Inside Man. With Denzel. Oh, that just popped in my head. But... yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't want to give into all the details. I thought they did a nice job building up just where this family's at and them trying their best, selling stuff, trying donations, trying to do all they can to get money to save their son. Again, the frustration and anger building up for Denzel. You're with him 100%. You understand it totally. And then you understand why he got to this point. You understand why he made this decision. And even then, he's not like a 180 asshole villain, because some movies can try to derail themselves where they turn a character a 180. It's like, where did that come from? That doesn't happen here. Like I said, the music is very effective. I thought the ending was satisfying. And granted, maybe a bit too convenient, the ending. I'll give you that. A bit too convenient, you could say. But with this kind of film, I'll allow it. I'll forgive it. I won't harp on it too much. Like, wow, they got lucky that happened at the exact same time this other thing was happening. And if it was 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes later... Well, I should say, if it was 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, things would be a very different ball game. If you've seen the film, you know what I mean. If you haven't, I'm not going to spoil it. But, yeah. John Q I really enjoyed. It was a good emotional story about what a father would do to save their son. And with Denzel's performance, capable work by people like James Woods and even Eddie Griffin and others, you really were in Denzel's shoes. You really understood what he was going through, and you really got why. It was very easy to put yourself in the man's place and go, what would you do in the situation? And, yeah, good movie with a lot of heart to it. So, those are my thoughts on John Q. Good flick. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay tuned for more reviews. Later.
You know RG3, the quarterback for the Redskins, right? I went to a charity event.
Quarterback for who?
The Redskins, Washington Redskins.
Washington?
All right, we can't say the name anymore. I know. But they did a charity event where all the Redskins chose their favorite movies to play for a charity event. For $200 a ticket, and all went to a good charity. RG3 chose John Q. And I interviewed him afterwards, and he told me he cried at the end of that film when he first saw it with his father. Do you have any type of message for him?
You know, a lot of people, first of all, have a great season, RG. I hope you can stay healthy. And thank you for your compliment. A lot of people love that film. I think, you know, the whole family and what you would do, you know, for your child or for your mom or for anybody. A lot of people were really touched by that. That's a Nick Cassavetes did a great job, and it is a tearjerker.
Yeah, he cried at the end. He admitted it on camera.
Yeah.